Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 and your video of the week. Finally got all of the video introductions graded so I know who's in the class. I created teams and we're on our way. So let's talk about everything that's happened so far. If you look at an announcements tab, I posted a couple things that are pretty important. One is which is teams. These are your teams for the term. Now, what can happen and has happened is let somebody say drops the class or 2 people drop the class. This class is hard to navigate with only 3 students on a team. So we want to stay 4 minimum, but also we don't want to go about 6 because when you have 7 or 8 students on a team, somebody gets lost and unintentionally. So let's say 2 people drop out of team 1, then these 3 students get absorbed. And it'll be something that I'll manage if it happens. You just keep moving forward with your team as you absorb new people if you have to. But I want to get the teams out as soon as possible because I want you to start talking because the team assignments in this class are pretty hardy. So you don't want to wait till the week team start to discuss the assignments of the week. So those are the teams. And if you look at the other announcement I posted, which is probably more important, is critical next steps, is as soon as you can, assign a project manager to your team. I'd like to know by Sunday at the latest, but hopefully you can do it by Thursday, Friday. And that person has several responsibilities. One of which is they submit the work on behalf of the team as a team assignment. It happens often that one team doesn't understand clearly and then individuals will submit, and now I have a muddy grade book. So remember, the project manager submits on behalf of the team one assignment for the team. All the rest of you have to have faith like you would have in a work environment. You wouldn't all just submit the same work to your client, so please respect that here as well. When your project manager submits, I'll grade and I'll distribute grades to everybody on the team. However, and that ties in with the next bullet, the project manager will give me updates along the way. So if it's a team assignment, at the end of the week, the project manager also has a responsibility to send me an announcement saying everybody was rock stars, everybody worked, we're golden. That's ideal. But as we know, in environments where there's groups or sometimes somebody that is floating. So let's say the project manager reaches out to me and says, Bob's not working. Bob hasn't shown up. Well, one, don't include Bob's name on the assignment because Bob didn't participate. Only the people that participated should have their name on the assignment. 2 is Bob will get a 0. Bob won't get grade. So again, you sign up for a class, work with everybody, and be a fair contributor. However, the project manager could reach out to me and say, you know what, Sue did work, but not much. The rest of the team had a carry. Well, Sue might get a C and everybody else gets an A, however that works out. So think about that as you do your work, is that if you're on a team, you're contributing to the team, and everybody pulls their weight evenly. It's a bit of coaching for you. Do not wait. I've had in the past students, we haven't heard from Sally yet. Well, if Sally's not ringing the bell, but the rest of you are, get to work. Because I realize that many of you have different schedules, you have work commitments, and you can't wait for one person all of a sudden chime in on Saturday for an assignment that's due on Sunday. Project manager should be pretty vigilant in saying, okay, the rough draft has to be on Wednesday. Final draft we're submitting on Saturday. So you're not doing work on Sunday at 10 o'clock stressing people out. And if, Sally finally shows up, Sally can be plugged in. But again, do your work as soon as possible. I've also provided forms for you. Now, it doesn't have to be where you do all your communication, but it's a great starting point I've heard from prior students. This class has several team assignments, so be ready. Let's jump back out and talk about the team forums. These are open to you now, so you can jump in. Let's say you're on team 1. You jump in here, post and say, hey, I'm Jim. This is my contact information. Let's get going. Now, you, again, don't have to use this form for the entire term. Some groups do, some groups don't. If you're not on Team 1, don't jump in Team 1's folder out of courtesy and respect. but this is where you can start the dialogue. Okay, so cruising down. We just closed out week 1. I did grade all the videos. The appreciation letter was also due, which I'll be grading this week once I get all things settled with teams. And then also you had your discussion questions. So please remember discussion questions, 1 original and 2 follow-up to peers for full grade consideration. You have 2 new discussion questions. Jessica Garza talked about prickly people, and then Julie Darr talking about constructive conversations. I can see some people have already jumped in. So just one more time to show you. Here is Carl. Carl's posted. Now Carl should then respond to 2 peers for full grade consideration. And then also you have what we do not say. This is all about body language and tone and eye contact. So your assignment this week is to focus on 2 interactions you've had. I've given you a couple examples, but they don't have to be within that vein. Analyze each interaction and compare and reflect on how the conversation went if you just focus on that aspect of communication. As they say, 80% of communication is not the spoken word. It's everything else that we see and do, and it's even worse when we get into Zoom rooms. People are looking behind you if you don't have a background and, making decisions. So again, what is being said is not said. It's critical when we talk about business communication. Okay, so that would be it for this week. And as we go into week 3, we get emotional intelligence. And just to give some forecasting, by week 6, I know you're saying, well, let's wait if it's week 6. Don't wait, because your first team assignment is creating a cultural platform for a business. And that's a lot of work. So this one's the first team assignment. The second one is a persuasive pitch for allocation for resources on a campus at your college students. These are pretty hardy. So start planning now. Okay, folks, I always feel once the week 1 is over, teams are formed, people are communicating, we're moving forward. Now we're in the term. If you have questions, reach out. If not, I'll do another video next week.